Well, it's time for Neil Spiel, and I'm telling you, the president is set to make a Keystone deal. Look at this.
So let's set our sights higher than a single oil pipeline. Let's pass a bipartisan infrastructure plan that could create more than 30 times as many jobs per year and make this country stronger for decades to come. Let's do it.
Did you catch that? He didn't say he was going to reject Keystone. He didn't say that he was going to veto opening Keystone legislation that is almost assuredly going to be on its way to him within the next week. What he did hold out is this idea of a greater infrastructure measure that he could support with a bipartisan Congress, and there's plenty of support for that. It would be bigger than the job generated from a pipeline alone. His comment just there. I think it's a bargaining chip. And I also think that it's going to get done. So you're going to get Keystone. Unfortunately, you're going to get a lot of other money wasted on things like, well, money in excess of the $100 billion we will already provide for infrastructure that just gets lost. But be that as it may, Keystone is going to get done. To the Fox Biz All-Stars, Lizzie McDonald, Rob Basso, and Sabrina Schaefer on whether I'm onto something or just on something. Lizzie, what do you think?
I think you're onto something, and it made me rethink the whole thing, that you could make this the jobs-creating Keystone Pipeline, have the Democrats support it, have a bicycle path built toward it, have a Keystone Museum, and then call it the Obama Pipeline.
I like bicycle paths.
I like it too, and have a little landscape kind of like we do with our highways. So, and then you call it the Obama Pipeline, and then it's a jobs creator.
Robbie, it's going to happen.
What I think he fails to recognize is how important this pipeline could be for our infrastructure. He talks about bigger infrastructure initiatives. Yes, our bridges are falling apart, but the reality is becoming energy independent and really, I understand the fossil fuel costs are low right now, but that's going to change, Neil.
No, I agree with you, but it's the only way it can get done. I don't like having to really rob Peter to pay Paul and pay a huge sum to get something that should be obvious. But
I do think the Republicans should reach across the aisle and make some sort of deal, but I also think it's going to get done.
Sabrina, what do you think?
Well, I'm a big proponent of the Keystone Pipeline, and I think it sort of checks the box of the environment as well as energy production. The problem is I'm not sure I want to give away the whole store to get it. I just don't really see that. That's
the only way you can get it. And I agree with you. We spent $100 billion between gas taxes now, state and local levies and fees, tolls, all of that nonsense. And you're quite right to question, where is that money going before we pile more money on? But if it's the only thing that can be done to assure Keystone is wrapped up and completed, would you do it?
Well, look, I mean, Republicans have the upper hand here.
I know that. I'm just asking you, would you do it? Yes or no?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, this is why. Because how many bridges to nowhere do we have? How many infrastructure projects?
How about a pipeline to nowhere? No?
Well, I know. I mean, we are kind of between a rock and a hard place here. And, look, I mean, one of the reasons I'm kind of extra opposed to this is that it not only does it sort of favor one industry over another, but it favors men over women.
It should sell itself, Sabrina. It should sell itself, but it's not. All right, stick around, guys. More later in the time. In tonight's Biz Blitz, who says cheaters never win? Well, the NFL may find the Patriots after finding that 11 of its 12 footballs were underinflated during Sunday's game with the Colts, but they're still going to likely be playing in the Super Bowl. Rob, does this kind of punishment fit the crime?
I don't think, if it's true, I don't think it's strict enough. In 2007, the Patriots actually got a draft pick yanked from them because they caught spying on the New York Jets. I mean, this is big business, so winning this game is a big deal.
But what could you learn spying on the Jets?
See, I'm a Jets fan, so I'll forego any commentary on that. But the truth is, if it's found true, they should lose a draft pick and maybe a $25,000 fine to a $500 million organization. It's nothing.
Maybe so, but Sabrina, they're still going to go to the Super Bowl, and I guess against the Colts, I mean, they could have played with bowling balls and it's still, won lopsidedly. So what's the punishment for that? They would have won anyway. Isn't that the way the fans are going to put it?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think that a fine is all that's needed. I mean, I really think that this is on the margins, right? Ultimately, you have to have the talent and the hard work and the right players to win. I don't think that inflating or deflating a ball or warming the ball, as some have done. I mean, there have been so many studies, and in fact, deflating the ball can sometimes actually be a disadvantage, right, because it decelerates faster. So I actually think that, we don't want to get too caught up in this. I think it's the talent that really matters.
All right, on the subject of sports, and someone I want to pick up with Lizzie here. Issue 2, baseball, still in the steroid business apparently, or maybe not, just odd pairings. But Alex Rodriguez, hanging around with new trainer Barry Bonds, has some people just wondering. Awkward. What do you think?
Really awkward. I mean, the two of them were caught in a web of deceit. they basically were, you know, rightfully attacked, I think, for what they got involved in with
Well,
steroids.
do they work out together, or is he Bonds his trainer? What are they?
I think he's going to mentor him because
I see.
Rodriguez is going to be a swing hitter.
Yeah, but this is like Tanya Harding giving a seminar on sportsmanlike conduct. It's ridiculous. I mean, Barry Bonds and.
Are you saying that I should nix my workout regimen advice
All
for
right,
people?
he's a 39-year-old baseball player, and he was great once. He's 2 years out of the league. Let's stop talking about him. He's done. He's done. Rodriguez
Could
is
you
done.
just indulge us for another minute or so
Okay,
for
another
this segment?
37 seconds.
Sabrina, what do you make of this?
Well, I don't know, that Tanya Harding image is just stuck in my head now, but, you know, I thought that it was a little bit surprising, although we've sort of seen this coming, right? Barry Bonds threw out the first pitch back in October. I think that we've sort of seen that he's, sticking his toe in the water and seeing how people respond, but it doesn't seem like it's a very positive response at this point.
But if you're not punished, nothing happens.
Yeah, listen, we went from corked baseball bats to Pete Rose with his diet pills to steroids. There's always going to be an asterisk, and you're always, and I don't, you know, listen, I grew up with Thurman Munson and, you know, Mark Fidrich, the bird, remember him, and Louis Tiant, and Catfish Hunter. I mean, you want to watch baseball and enjoy
Sure.
it, not to have second thoughts about it.
Everybody, History Channel,
football.
History Channel. All right, when we come back, other financial networks say, oh, we're all about your wallet, we're watching your money, and then they're running something with a shark, and you feel you're in the tank. Not us.